I'm glad you've joined us today. We're having a great day already, and I'm looking forward to hearing some good music. So let's sing along.
This is the day that you have made. Whatever comes, I won't complain. For all my hope is in your name, and now your joy is my grace. I give thanks for all you have done, and I'll sing of your mercy and your love. Your love is unfailing, Lord, I am grateful. When I was down, you brought me out and set my feet on higher ground. So here I stand, you are my God. Faithfulness, my solid rock. I give thanks for all you have done, and I'll sing of your mercy and your love. Your love is unfailing, Lord, I am grateful. I give thanks for all you have done. Won't forget all the battles you have won. Your love is unfailing, Lord, I am grateful. And as we lift our hands, the heavens open, heavens open. So let our lives declare the love our God has spoken over us. And as we lift our hands, the heavens open, heavens open. So let our lives declare the love our God has spoken over us. Thanks for all you have done, and I'll sing of your mercy and your love. Your love is unfailing, Lord, I am grateful. I give thanks for all you have done, and won't forget all the battles you have won. Your love is unfailing, Lord, I am grateful. Lord, we are grateful for all you've done. Lord, we are grateful.
Well, it's Wednesday morning. We've really gotten a lot of good news these days, and I'm excited to share some devotions with you because this one today was the easiest of all to write. I went to my one-year Bible, which I love to read my one-year Bible, and today's one-year Bible has as the psalm one of my most favorite psalms, Psalms 91. In fact, Psalms 91 is the psalm that I remember I used to use as a wrestler. When I was wrestling and I was nervous about a match, and I couldn't sleep at night, I would read this psalm, and it was such a calming force on my life. And I was thinking about that through this time. Maybe you're a little struggling at sleeping at night or whatever. Listen to this psalm. It's really great stuff. And I hope you're enjoying these devotions. I hope you also join us on Sunday. We've been doing this God Can series, and I've asked many of you to share your God Can story. And I'd also love to hear some of the stories of people that have been using their stimulus check to to use a way of generosity to help somebody out. I can't wait to hear the stories about all that. Well, here we're going to start. Psalms 91. I want you to just listen closely. Those who live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. This is a statement that starts right out, and I can just get the sense of David. He was always running, always in trouble, always having struggles, and I could imagine he had a lot of sleepless nights. But here's what he was saying. He that lives in the shelter of the Most High. What does that mean? That means you're at his place. That means you're underneath his roof, and it's a safe place. And you live in the shadow of the Almighty. You're close enough to God that his shadow covers you. I love that picture today. We're in God's house. We're at his place, and we're under his shadow. Now, verse 2 says this, I declare about the Lord, he alone is my refuge, my place of safety. He is my God. I trust him. This is a statement of faith from David. I love these statements of faith because this is a choice. It starts out by saying, hey, I've made him my shelter. Now we get to this verse and he says, this is my statement. He is my shelter. And I just really encourage you, take that verse, make that your verse today. God is my shelter, and it'll give you this peace. You're under his house. You're under his shadow. He goes on and says, for he will rescue from every trap and protect you from deadly disease. You know, today, if you're afraid of this virus, if you're afraid of other viruses or other diseases or stuff that's coming, you know what he's essentially saying is, he's got your back. He's got you. He's going to help you. And this is a great comfort for me. In verse 3. Now in verse 4, he goes on and says, he will cover you with his feathers. You can kind of picture an eagle covering the chicks with his wing. It's just like this amazing bird that covers the young. He will shelter you with his wings. His faithful promises are your armor and protection. Don't be afraid of terrors of the night, nor the arrows that fly in the day. Don't dread the disease that stalks in darkness, nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Though thousands fall at your side, though 10,000s are dying around you, these evils will not touch you. This is a psalm a lot of my friends have quoted to me recently, and they've been sharing this, and so many of them have just said, no, this can't touch me. God has my back, and he has your back as well. What does it mean to be untouchable? I think it means when I put my faith in God, he's not going to allow anything that he won't use for good. So whatever you're experiencing right now, you can know that you know that you know God's going to use it for good. He's going to help you. Now, through this whole thing, I've been writing lists, and I hope by the way that psalm, you'll just go read the rest of the psalm. The rest of the psalm's amazing. But as I get back to my list, I've been just thinking of giving God the things I can't control, and then hanging on to the things I can control, and then being thankful. So let me give my list today. The things I can't control is my roller coaster ride. I have an up and down ride of emotions. There's days I feel like, oh man, we're going to get over this. It's going to get back to normal. And then there's other days I go, are we ever going to get over this? It's such a roller coaster ride. And I bet some of you are in that same ride. I was talking to a family the other day, and they're just struggling, the kids and everybody. And one day they're doing just fine. The next day they're not. Maybe you feel that way. It's out of control. I'm unable to solve all the problems. You know, the problems that come our way, oftentimes you work the problems, you keep working the problems. But right now we're kind of flooded with way more than we can handle. If God doesn't help us, we aren't going to make it. And it's just more than I can handle. I think I can't control the huge divide of opinions on how to handle this. I have a friend of mine that looks at this differently than I do. Really good friend. I love him. He loves me. And we were talking the other day about how difficult it is and how different we think. And I ended my conversation with this. There's one thing we agree on, and that's Jesus. And boy, we really do agree on Jesus. And I love the diversity that we have in our congregation, and that it's okay. There's great divide, but we agree on Jesus. That's the thing that matters. Well, I can't control the digital world. It's kind of crazy to figure out this digital world. I can't control the news world. I can't control the future of economy and the virus. And I'm not sure which is going to kill more of us. The results of what we've done to try and save people from the virus, or the virus itself. I'm not sure what's going to be more. But that's out of my control. I have to give those things to God. Here's the things I can control. I can control my attitude. I can keep choosing to move, to get up, to get after it, to laugh, to love, to live. I can control my outlook. I can be optimistic. I'm prepared for the worst, but realize that I expect the best to happen. I expect that God's going to use this for good. I can control my faith. Like David, I declare the Lord is my refuge today. I can rest in that. And I can control my fear. And how do you do that just today? Just what's in front of you. I remember climbing up Mount Kilimanjaro with Audrey, and we were in the middle of the night, and it was a dark night, and I got really, really sick. And I began to think, man, if I get really sick, will I even be able to come down? Could I even go up or come down? Instead of focusing on what may or may not happen, I had to just begin to say, what's in front of me? And I kept saying, I can do the next 10 steps. I can do the next 10 steps. And sure enough, over a period of time, it got way easier. And I'm convinced that's the way we handle fear, is by just focusing on what's in front of us. And we have enough for what's in front of us. And I want to say that I can be generous. I had so much fun giving away a part of my stimulus check the other day. Audrey and I have someone that we really care about that we're going to make a difference in her life. And it was really fun for us to be a part of that. I'm excited about doing that. And we're going to do that for more than one person. I can be generous, and I can make a difference. I plan to help. I plan to help a friend of mine this week, not with finances, but in other ways. And I just want to go in. I want to step in. I want to be a blessing. I want to do little things that make a difference. So here's the things I can thank God for. We're 1 week closer to the end of this quarantine. I believe it's going to come eventually. I think we're discovering some new talent and friends and things that they can do and ideas that they have that I never dreamed that came from some of the new friends that I have. I'm thankful for a great volunteer who's helping us to connect people in the Stimulate Generosity Fund. This person is connecting people who want to give to people who need something and making sure that it's a good connection. I'm grateful for people like that. I'm thankful I can still get outside. Vitamin D is going to help me. I'm thankful we're starting to open up and get back our economy. And if I understand the government correct, if I understand the governor correctly, I think fishing's going to open up pretty quick, and golfing and hunting and a whole bunch of other things. And I'm grateful for that. But above all, I want to remind us, God causes all things to work for good to those that love God. I love God. You should love God. Start loving Him today.